guys, welcome to the Ticker, where we give you your daily dose of what's happening now.
We are all familiar with the old biblical story of David versus Goliath. And ever since the internet came about a little over 17 years ago, as far as the commercial internet, we've seen this story played time and time again between different companies, both new and old, and how these little David companies have just amassed so much power and so much income and so much wealth, and really beat back these Goliaths of industry that they've gone against. So today we're going to review some of these David and Goliath stories and kind of help give you some tips on how you can apply these same principles to your real estate business.
First Goliath is going to be Blockbuster. And the way this really is implemented into your business has to do with convenience and keeping your head in the sand. The number one thing you don't want to do when you have a large company, or even if you're a real estate agent, title agent, whatever your case may be, is to put your head in the sand and pretend like nothing else is going on. As Netflix and Redbox started creeping up on Blockbuster, they kind of kept their head in the sand, didn't pay attention to what was going on, and even furthermore, they didn't pay attention to all the technology and all the changes that were happening around them, and they didn't implement those things into their business. Without doing that, they couldn't add the next feature, which is convenience. You know, many of us have very hectic lifestyles. And if you're like me, I have 4 kids. I don't want to go into a Blockbuster, walk around for 20 minutes, find a video. My kids are going to take every video off the shelf. They're going to want to rent 10 different videos, and they're going to find some overpriced candy that I don't want them to have. So it's so much more convenient to pull up to a Redbox, jump out of the car, swipe my credit card, pick the movie. We discuss ahead of time, we figure it out ahead of time, and it's convenient. So make sure in your business that you're convenient for your clients. Just because they prefer email and you prefer text messaging, don't go with what you prefer. Go with what your client prefers. Don't get stuck in your own set ways. Make sure that you're convenient for them.
Next, Goliath is going to be Barnes & Noble or Borders or any style of big box chain retailer for books that you can think of. And of course, the David we all know is Amazon. There's a lot of different ways that Amazon won out, from distribution side to publication side to just, not having a big box store in general. But the way that we really think that you can implement an Amazon strategy into your business is their marketing, specifically their e-marketing after you've made a purchase. Now, when I go buy something at Barnes & Noble, specifically the big box store, I buy the book, and I pretty much forget where I got it from. Of course, I have my product, but now I don't remember anything else about where I got it or the experience that I had or anything like that. Whereas if you've ever bought anything from Amazon, you know that their follow-up drip campaign is amazing. Oh, you just bought that cookbook. Well, now we've got 16 other cookbooks. Oh, and we sell a George Foreman grill. Oh, and you can pick up this kit. It's amazing. So where you can implement this into your business is to make sure that you're not always using those automated drip campaigns. If you have a certain niche, maybe it's time you start giving them drip campaigns with pertinent information every month to make sure, exactly. It's not always about you being top of mind for them, right? Sometimes it's about them feeling like they've been top of mind for you. And that is the way that you do that, and that's the way Amazon beat all these stores out.
So next up is Nokia and Samsung, and how their kind of whole business got swiped away by Apple, and Apple just telling a better story. And I don't know any one of these tips that can be more simple than telling a better story. You have to have a good experience with somebody and a good story. You know what most people say about Apple is they get caught up in that culture, that it becomes addictive and something that they have to have. They can't work on anything but a Mac. They can't use anything but an Apple phone, and that's what happened. Nokia and Samsung, the old brick phones, when text messaging just first came out, everybody thought that was the end-all be-all. You finally didn't have to sit in your car with it plugged into the charger. You could move around with it. But what Apple did was came in and had a better story. They had better user-friendly techniques, and people really became attached to them. You want your clients to become attached to you. If they feel attached to you, they're going to tell a better story about your service. And when they tell that story, it's going to be so convincing that anybody that they tell is not going to call another realtor, is not going to call another lender. They're going to call you. They're going to be dying to use your service. They're going to be knocking on your door. Instead of you having to market to somebody, your clients are going to do that for you because they're going to have a story that's so compelling and so convincing that nobody who hears it would use anybody else.
The last one that we have for you guys is Yahoo versus Google. Now, we're not talking about the Yahoo versus Google today. We're talking about the Yahoo versus Google back in 2000, in 2001, in 2002. Basically, what happened is Google swiped all of that market share from Yahoo by coming in and being good at one thing. They came in and said, we are going to be the absolute best at this. And we've talked on this show ad nauseum about niching yourself out and becoming the best you can possibly be at this one thing. And what that allowed Google to do is get the finance and the market share to expand. And then obviously now we have Google everything. And
Didn't
I
Apple
love Google
do that
Plus,
in some ways too?
Exactly.
They started with the computer,
Absolutely.
with the Mac, and then they moved to MP3
then they got the MP3
players.
players and
then
phones.
phones.
Exactly, guys.
Staying
It's coming
in your niche.
in and just being the absolute best at that one thing will allow you to expand upon your business. So remember, no matter which market you're in, whether you're a single broker, you're within a brokerage, and you've got some big hitters out there that you're having trouble competing against, it is 100% possible for you as the David to beat up on the Goliaths if you're doing the right things, providing convenience, making sure you don't have your head in the sand, specifically about technology, that you're marketing in a better way than your other constituents out there are doing, making sure that you're telling a better story, and of course, if you have to, niche yourself out and make yourself be the best you possibly can at that one thing. Anyway, guys, if this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe for free over on this side. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them down below.
And you can always check us out on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and even hang out with us on Google+.
That's right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Of what's happening now.
Today's show is going to be all about things like I totally forgot. I thought we were doing the other show first. My bad. I totally forgot. I was like, we're asking questions. Not at all. My bad.
One and done was not the case.
Shh.